Good afternoon. Hope you're having a great day. This Shabbos is a special Shabbos. It's a day before Rosh Chodesh. We bless the new month, which is the last month in the Jewish year, Adar. And this year we had two Adars, but it's Adar 2. It's the month we celebrate Purim in, so it's a month of tremendous joy and festivities, but it's also the Shabbat that we begin reading a double portion and taking out two Torahs this Shabbat and Shalom. We do it this week and 3 more weeks before Passover. And the second portion we're going to read in this week's Torah portion is the portion of Shkalim. Although we read it actually in the Torah a few weeks ago, we take out a second Torah this week. And besides that, the portion of Vayakel, we read the second portion of Shkalim. And the reason is because when the second Adar came, they would begin collecting that charity, that half coin that everyone gave towards the temple. And there's the old riddle that says, who's a palindrome? The son of a palindrome. And the answer is King David, the son of Jesse. Because in Hebrew, the word David could be read both ways. And in Hebrew, the word Yishai, which is Jesse, could also be read both ways. So who's a palindrome, the son of a palindrome, is David, the son of Yishai. And it's interesting because when it comes to the Machatzit Shekel, the half coin that the Torah commands each and every one of us to give, in this week's Torah portion, the word uses V'nasenu, they shall give. But the word V'nasenu could be read backwards and frontwards. And the reason the rabbis tell us is because the Torah is trying to teach us, when you give, you actually get. When you give, you receive. Or as we say, what comes around goes around. And when the Jewish people were generous and giving, they received back. And that's why the Machatzit HaShekel is in the month of Adar. Because the Torah tells us something remarkable. When Haman came to annihilate the Jews, and he came to Achashverosh, and he said, I want to annihilate all the Jewish people. And he brought Achashverosh 10,000 coins. And the Talmud says that King Achashverosh, as it says in the Megillah, says to Haman, hey, I don't need the coins. The coins are yours and you could kill the Jews too. And God said something interesting to Haman. You think you're going to get somewhere with your coins that you gave, it's too late. Because the Jewish people already preceded you. And they collected the coins of the half a shekel. Which was to say, you're collecting coins for something evil, to do something bad, but they already superseded you, the Jewish people, by giving a half a coin to build a tabernacle. And that half a coin, what they gave, will come around to protect the Jewish people. And that's the idea of the Machatzit HaShekel being collected in this month, and the second Torah reading of this Shabbat being Shkalim, and the word V'nasnu, the palindrome, going both ways, to remind us that what you give is really ultimately what you get. And that's the story of Purim. On Shabbat, I told him the story in Shul. My father told me a couple of weeks ago that he was sitting in Shul, and someone told him a story about this young Chabadnik who lived in Crown Heights. He was a soldier in the IDF, and then he finished his army duty, and he came back to America, got married, had 6 kids. And when October 7th happened, he turned to his wife and he said, I know I don't have to go back to the army. I don't live in Israel. I'm not born Israeli. I have 6 kids. But my heart is telling me that I got to go back to fight for my people. And he got his wife's permission. And he left his job and he went to fight in Israel for 3 months. Well, he was given a 3-week break. And he really wanted to bring his family to Israel. And he looked into tickets. The problem was that even with the 25% off that El Al was giving for soldiers, he couldn't afford it. So he was resigned to the idea, and he said, I'll fly back home, and I'll come to America to see the kids and his wife. But that night before, he went out to eat in a restaurant that he was told that the owner said soldiers could eat there for free. American guy who happened to be there, he goes into the restaurant, he eats, and at the end of the night, he wants to say thank you. He goes over to the guy and he says, thank you so much for being so generous and feeding us soldiers. He says, tell me a little bit about you. He says, listen, I have a 3-week break now. He says, I'm going to America to visit my family. So the guy tells him, why don't you bring your family here? So he says, well, I looked into it, but I can't afford it, especially I haven't been working for 3 months, and my family's in America, and it's expensive. So the owner says, hold on a minute. He goes to speak to his partner, and he comes back and he says, never mind, go buy tickets. Here's a credit card. We're going to pay for it. He says, yeah, but I'm going to come. I don't have where they should stay. He says, no problem. We have an apartment in Jerusalem that your family could stay in, and we're even going to give you money for a while they're here so they could spend it. He goes and he books the tickets. He's so grateful. He thanks the guy. He books the tickets and he comes to the airport to pick them up. And he has a sign that says, searching for a mother and 6 children that went missing 3 months ago. And he held that sign, and as his family comes out, you watch the video as his children, who haven't seen him in 3 months, run to hug their father and his wife. And he embraces them, crying, both of them. And you think about Benasnu, the palindrome, what goes around comes around. This soldier gave his life. For 3 months, he left everything to go fight for his country. And these generous people gave him back that gift, allowing his family to spend 3 weeks with him in Israel, to see the remarkable country and to be with their father before he goes back to fight. May we always be able to give, not in order to get, but that's what ends up happening. God bless you and have a